Deofig here. Time for another update. Enemies now give chase when you enter their line of sight, instead of simply chasing the player when being within range. They also now have a track state that sets their destination to the player position on entry. The state is currently enabled by either the player shooting within listening distance or the enemies hearing the player behind them. The range the shots will ring out varies from weapon to weapon, and each enemy has their own listening distance for the player. This track state needs some tweaking to update enemy destination if the player continues to move within range of the listening distance. Currently, the enemy will strictly move to the destination set on state entry until it reaches that point, or the player enters a line of sight for the enemy. This also applies to shots heard, so only the first shot sets the enemy destination. I would eventually like to include enemies entering this state when shot or when enemies next to them are alerted. After some player testing, deofig.itch.io/cultalist, link here and in the description, I got some feedback and implemented it right away. The crossbow enemy has a reduced fire rate and does less damage. The drone sounds have been dropped a few decibels. I've added details to help direct player flow, like blocking the player's backyard with a fence, adding blood decals to the ground to follow, giving a little text prompt when you first exit player's room, etc. In addition, there are some new materials I made using Material Maker, and some decals I made with Material Maker and Krita. I may not be great at making assets, but I can at least scrounge through online documentation and YouTube University until I can piece together something decent. I also use GIMP for some things, mainly because I'm more familiar with it, but Krita has some really cool rendering features that make it killer for cobbling stuff together. The hippie neighbor's yard now has more detail, with a plethora of gardening gear to grow anything and everything. An old mill across the river is roughly gray boxed. It needs to be aged about 80 to 100 years, with everything rickety and crumbling, and maybe a little haunted. That just about sums her up. Thank y'all for watching and have a good one.